Hey there, newbie. Took you a while to actually get here. But don't really worry about being here on time. So, yeah, I decided to might as well just have you come over before I actually had to do openings. Yeah. No, you don't have to say much. I basically got all the necessities that I need to know. Though I have heard enough from a particular closer of mine. Yeah. So even though you're only here for, say, that one night, you decided it was interesting enough to actually see if you could find a spot here. More than just being a customer. So that alone had interested me, and I wanted to see for myself what you'd be like. And then right now, just from what I see, it's rather interesting. But at least you actually showed up. And that's saying a lot already. So you wouldn't believe how many people just don't show. You know, there were other ones in a similar kind of position as you were. But, you know, some people they can talk all they want about what they're gonna do, or that they'll appear and be ready just for something minuscule to cause them to flake. Isn't that something? So that means, at least in your case, you're already far ahead than many of those other people. May not sound like much, but you definitely already have an advantage there. So I hope you don't forget that. Yeah. Yeah, actually I do. I do deal with the openings myself. Yeah, I get it. I could. Yeah, I get it. I could have just hired some more people and just had them run everything the entire time. Yeah, I'm no stranger to how some people operate. They're operate their business in such a way where they can just sit back and let everyone else do the work. But I'm not a too big fan of that approach, because I actually want to be more involved with it. So even when it comes to dealing with customers myself, opening, or stepping in when I'm needed, I'm all up for it. And to no one's surprise, that's how everyone else working under me has been pretty good to me in return. So I'd hope that you could also be a fairly good addition, whether you end up being part-time or full-time, depending on what you're looking for to get here. Because I surely hope you're not just here just for a single reason. Right. Something more than that. Something more than just earning from your time put into here. Or like something more personal. Because it's easy for me to tell apart those who are just short-term monetarily driven and those actually seeking to make something of themselves. And yeah, I get it. It's just a cafe, some might think. But a lot can happen here. And one can grow a lot from being here, actually. It wasn't too long ago where I was in a similar position. A few cities away, I still wasn't sure where I wanted to be or what to do, actually. But give it some time. I decided that this would be the way for me to go. And surely enough, it's paid me back in kind for being attentive to follow up on my interest. I don't mean to say that I expect you to be successful in the means of having your own, say, place or chain or whatever it is. What I mean to say is that I hope whatever might be sitting in there within you isn't just a one way, some shallow objective of just having a place to make money. Because sure, that's a given, but you have to see it in, but you have to see it as more than that. Because if all you see it as is just a simple job to get pay, then that's all you're gonna get out of it. So I'm putting my trust in you to show me that you got at least something than just being a shallow person with a shallow purpose. Because there's way more of those than you would believe. But on the other hand, that means it's a lot easier to beat out a lot of people too. You give yourself a general direction of what you're doing, or just an interest in something, and you end up finding your way where there might not be many people around you in that case. Well, one way you could see it is like a sort of race, right? Where everyone starts at the same place, just like I have before. I started maybe not expecting that much, but to be one that sticks with it, when I had the thought of getting my own cafe, instead of just leaving it be a potential idea or what if, I wanted to get more out of that and see about making it an actual thing, to live in the reality of that. Because once you get further down in that race, you're not going to see many other people there with you or around you. But with all this talk, I don't mean to try to scare you away and from an expectation of, I don't mean to scare you away with an expectation of being a ride or die type of employee. That's not really it. If that were the case, then I'd be swapping out through so many people. It just, I want it to be a place for people that, for those that do want to find their own way or achieve something personally that maybe they can find here, that I'm willing to put trust into them and working with me and see how far they can get with that. And through that, maybe they can and then through that, then maybe they can go off and do their own thing. You never know. They can grow off to be, say, a partner down the line. That would be very nice, I'd say. Anyway, aside from all that talk, I do recognize it's part of me just venting about how the majority of people tend to be. I'm sure you get the picture now. So I'll just spare you the rambling of that. Anyway, I guess we'll go over what you've actually been expecting, huh? Well, I actually hadn't put much thought into where exactly you might sit in schedule-wise. Because where you're looking to be, just have your time hop around whenever to whatever works for you, or where you're looking to have this be a bit more, something more stable. Because regardless of which one you go with, I should be able to flex the schedule to accommodate you. Okay. Yeah, that's totally doable. And then what about your general times? Well, based on what I've been told, I'd be one to assume that you would much prefer being on at a much later time, say closing. I think that'd be very beneficial, actually. So then that way, it doesn't leave anybody alone. Because unfortunately, it's had to be that way for a while. But now knowing that I can get another set of hands that late into store hours, then that surely makes me feel assured. Yeah. Well, for me, I take care of everything in the morning. Yeah, yeah, the whole thing about taking care of it myself. Right, yeah. I do show up here by myself for around an hour or two before I have anyone else show up. and depending on what the schedule is. Because there are some gaps where there could be just one person, but fortunately that's an increasingly rare thing. Because what I'm looking for is minimum 2 people and a maximum of 4. Yeah. So typically it'll be more people during the afternoon time rather than earlier in the morning or even much later at night. Although there's still the flexibility to switch you around if you don't get situated with being here at a very late time. No, I really wouldn't mind. I prefer that actually, because then that means you're trying different things to whatever suits you, instead of just dealing with it and not saying anything. I'd much rather have you speak up about it, because it'll be really irritating to just you not say anything, and then there goes the assumption of that it's functioning just fine for you, when in reality it's the opposite. So upfront honesty is surely appreciated, because it helps literally everyone. Yes, at the moment, that's right. For now, it'll just be the 2 of us. Right. So, what I was aiming for today is going over things like I am doing now and clarifying what kind of expectations I have out of you. And, well, now you're fully aware of those, and seeing what I can do with your schedule. So the last part of that is to see any familiarity with attending to customers in this type of environment, and along with any experience with handling and serving any sort of menu previously that is somewhat like ours. Though it's up to you whether you that's what it's all about. Consider it a type of evaluation. Because the more you're capable of, then the better. And get you up to speed a lot quicker. And get you going. So, it's 2 main things, right? As you've taken a look at the menu itself from your previous visit, you have all kinds of drinks, and graciously created by my night person, as you're already aware of who that is. So you got to try the more basic things to the things that are a bit more delicate to make. But even so, just giving it a few days, you'll start to get it down. It's just a matter of building up your skill in your own way to work on your general proficiency in how you serve it. Think of it as like your own personal touch of sorts. Although just to reiterate, you really don't gotta worry about it. It's something anyone could grasp. You just gotta have the patience for it and just pay attention. That's really all you gotta put into it. Now, for the other thing you haven't gotten to see was what we have for food. And kind of like with the drinks, it can vary from simple things to other foods that need a bit more care. Well, I'm not gonna have you go through the menu and memorize it just yet. I just want to see how adaptable you are to starting out. A little bit of a challenge, I guess. I'm sure you can do it. Because I could tell you're rather nervous, but I can see a certain bit of determination to see it through. And that's the kind of thing I'm looking for. Because some people can get scared, or some panic, and then they start messing up the orders, or start feeling like they're being rushed, and can make mistakes that can stack up. But the thing is, yeah, it'll be rough in the beginning, but like with anything, you give it time, stick to it, and it'll become easier as time goes on. Then eventually you get to a point where it kind of feels like nothing, start feeling effortless. Well, for everyone else here, they've gone to a point where I'm quite confident in every single one of them just running the place on their own. But of course, that's not something I'm gonna let happen, because I'd rather just not leave any of them alone. Better with having at least 2 people. Makes a world of a difference just having someone else there with you. Well, I'm thinking that's enough talking here. Now I want to see what. Now I want to push you through the jinx we have and see what you can make on your own. And see how you can follow instruction. Come on. I was getting tired of sitting anyway. Now behind the counter, I'm sure you're already familiar with all that back there. Though I guess this time you're gonna be the one using it. So when it comes down to making the drinks and everything, it'll all be done within just that table, and that's it. So everything you're gonna need is gonna be all right there bunched up together. So there isn't gonna be any unnecessary moving or running around just to get whatever ingredients you might need. It's all right there. Even the different grounds all lined up on their own with the shelf right there. So everything is going to be readily available within hand's reach. Oh, and for setting everything up, I primarily wanted the things to be very easy to find. And I much hate to leave a clutter at the end of any day. And you end up putting more time on cleaning stuff where normally you could have saved just by being aware of what you use and where you leave anything. So now with that being said, I will also end up passing it to you too. I'd say it'd be something very beneficial for you to pick up on and learn. Because not only will it be applicable here, of course, but also wherever it is you might live, that too. It never hurts to be vigilant about your cleanliness. And I'm pretty sure you want to be spared of any future embarrassment if anyone were to see your place be in complete disarray. Yeah, I should hope that you'd have at least some value in yourself to actually clean up properly. So that's definitely assuring to know. Anyway, enough with getting sidetracked on that. So, to give you a brief summary on it, first I will summarize the process, and then when it comes to actually doing it, I'll have you go through it instead of me showing you. And that way I'll see how much you actually retained. When it comes down to starting, okay, so starting out, first it starts with the portafilters, and those you can find on top of the espresso machine. They will always be there, and I also expect you to also leave them there once you're done using them, but only after they're cleaned. That's the important part too. So you get one of those. Yeah. And with those portafilters, you can adjust the spouts. So you can have a single one. Right. Yeah. Or get the one that splits into two. And once you selected the spout that you want, then you place it within the espresso machine. But the important part here is that before you actually insert it there with the espresso machine, you first need to use the tamp and then press it down properly. Or else you'll just get all that stuff going around, and I'm pretty sure you don't want to be cleaning all that up. And it'll just leave a bunch of unwelcome residue around. and it can become quite nasty. So once you do that and place it under the espresso machine, all I gotta do is just hit the one button, and then it just takes care of the rest there. Yeah. So all that happens after that is just wait until it finishes up. And that's basically it. Just like that, you just have an espresso right there. A basic one, but that's what it is. Now, of course, there's going to be more than that, as I'm sure you can recall. The ingredients. So we have different syrups, caramel, and chocolate. So alongside the syrups, we also have powders. The two options we have is caramel or chocolate. That's what we have. And then to complete all of that, there's also a whipped cream topper that is also used for the espressos. Now for that one in particular, I'm not too sure if you had a taste of that yourself. But once you start doing it yourself, you're free to use that and give it a try. So that's on the more espresso side of things. But just as a reminder, some of those will be used when it comes to preparing lattes. Because then when it comes to making lattes, a few extra things to be aware of is the addition of milk. And with the espresso machine, you are able to put it through a frothing process for the milk and have a few more options in preparing that for specific blends. So, right, making lattes will be more time consuming. So I hope you at least pay more attention when it comes to handling those specific drinks. But as time goes on, you'll get used to it. But starting out, in the meantime, we do have a tablet that contains all of our different drinks, and as well as instructions for what ingredients we use, how they're prepared, but also in what order we mix them. So at any point, if you're confused about something or unsure, well, you can either refer to the tablet or just ask for help. So whichever one you decide to go with, don't hesitate about seeking help when you need it. Because freezing up and hesitating is gonna do nobody any good. The last thing I'd want to do is deal with a customer who ends up being unhappy because of a slight error. Because you mix any one of these in the wrong order, or you end up adding the wrong thing, it'll throw off everything. Because through through trial and error and of many preferences of customers that we had here, it's put in this way for a reason. It's put in this way so you have the absolute best results, no matter how many times or how new you might be at it. And a few extra notes for the lattes is that we only serve those in the taller glasses, which are right in their own corner there, but they're very present there and available. And you also put them out with the straw too. That much should also be fairly obvious. You'll find the straws right above those. Alright, and then when it comes to cups, well, you've already seen the normal small espresso cups. But we also have the normal coffee cups too. And to complement those, we have two different dish sizes to accommodate those. And then that's a huge thing too, that I also would like for you to remember, is never serve any of these without their plate. So yeah, just as a reminder, anytime you're serving out something, whether that be espresso cup or coffee cup, serve it out there with their plate. Never alone or naked, none of that. It has to be with its plate. And lastly, we also do have plain water, very clean water, and as well as a machine for ice. Yep, as you guessed, those will also have its place when it comes to certain recipes. Right. But again, I know it's quite a bit to take in at first. I understand that. So that's why I expect you to be referencing the tablet a bunch. And if you really did feel like it, then whenever you do go home, to memorize it and internally run through the process. So then when you start, or once you finally start, then you can get really, really quickly into it. But again, I will have you with someone else, so in that way you would at the very least be able to have two reliable sources of help for the tablet and for my closer. So I want to do everything I can to set you up for guaranteed success. The only part that rests on you is putting in the effort. Just putting in the effort and making yourself self-proficient. But with the help, it's very achievable. Okay. Now for the last, now I'm going to put you through the quick test run. I'll have you create two different things, It doesn't matter to me if you reference a tablet. Go ahead and choose whatever you want to go for, and then I'll see how it ends up. Yeah, I'll be behind the counter with you, because sometimes it's the smaller details that'll tell me everything about what to expect on how you do things. So the rundown on the tablet, as I'm showing you here. So you have basically your basic functions and individual tasks. The individual tasks with descriptions, with how to do them, and what the exact steps for those are. Self-explanatory. Now this is the main one here, where all the different kinds of recipes. So the lattes, coffees, and then the espressos. And with some teas too. So like as you can see here, we have our choices of not only hot coffees, but also iced ones. And you choose one, like a basic latte, and I'll tell you right here what cup and what you'll need in what specific order. So just follow that and you'll be fine. So now you're ready to give it a try. Okay, so I'll point out all these items for you. Okay? So like I first mentioned, you have the portafilters sitting right on top of the espresso machine. So that's what the espresso machine looks like. And those are all the different buttons for its different functions. With the power button there, it's hot water, the extraction, and then lastly, for steam, for the milk. And then the machine next to it is just for ice. Just put the cup on the tab, push down on it, does the rest. Easy as that. So then on the right of the espresso machine, is the grinder, and that's where you put the portafilter. But once it's done, obviously you'll know, and right in front of it is the tamper, right, to pat it all down, and then then it goes right into the espresso machine. Yep. And then that's the essential gist of it. Yeah. You're definitely getting much quicker grasp than most I've dealt with. So that's good. And one thing I forgot to mention earlier is about what to do with those filters once you're done using those. And for those, there's that box on the far right, the knock box. So once you're done with the extraction process, then you take the filter there, basically bang on it to just have all that leftover just in the used up grounds, just tap it all out. And of course, don't forget to wash it too, because I'm not a very big fan of leaving anything dirty. Yeah, there is also a physical clipboard with the menu items listed out. That one is more of for the customers rather than for yourself. The tab is going to be more for everyone to reference. Yeah. Though anyway, I think that essentially gets you caught up to everything, just about everything that you need to know. And where'd you sit with the expectations that I'm placing onto you? So I would really like if you weren't to greatly disappoint me after showing your capability. Right. So then what kind of question did you have for me? All right. I guess I didn't really go over that. That's actually a really good one. Oh. Yeah, there will be. That's a good one too. There will be a mandatory break for everyone. That's just how it's always been. Yeah, I guess personally I've dealt with a place before where breaks were enforced and regulated, but it was that the management in that area never cared to actually push it. So then what ends up happening is that nobody ever officially put their break on record. And people kept doing it because for this particular place, going on break didn't take away from your active work hours. So you can see why everyone else acted the way they did. I don't blame them. I mean, at the time, I followed what they did and went on to do the exact same thing. But for here, I will have everyone forced to take their breaks. And how I have it set up is the one mandatory for half an hour. But I also have a second one that is optional. That is also another half hour. Though for these breaks, I don't discount them as detracting from your work hours. So they are paid for. So you don't have to worry about trying to pass up on breaks just to try to squeeze out a bit more. Because I do recognize how just inefficient that will be with everyone else to try to play it in that way. Because without any breaks, well, all that would end up doing is just make everyone's performance start suffering. So of course, wanting to avoid that, I had set it up in a way to benefit everybody. Yeah, fortunately, that's just the system has been working as expected. I had mentioned it before. My intention of this place is to, for those working here, have it be stable. Because then if it isn't, then that isn't exactly gonna give people all that much faith to stick around, right? Here I am getting back into like the more technical things of how it works internally and my vision for it, which yeah, that's really all there is, I believe. You're all caught up. It'll truly start once you get that first day going. You show for the first day and you just keep going after that. Then there really will be no problem. But if there was anything else that you had needed to discuss with me as time goes on, or something that you end up facing, then just come to me. Either in person whenever you have the chance, or just through my number. Yeah. Okay. I should get on opening this place and let you go to head back and have you catch up on your sleep. So I'm thankful you could make it on my time. So I look forward to seeing how you end up performing. And I see to how long you end up sticking with us for. Even if it ends up being for a short while, well, if you put enough effort into it, then it'll still be something that is greatly appreciated for everybody. That you're able to haul your own weight and not rely on others so much to do everything for you. Okay, well, I'm starting to ramble again. You should just get going now. And I have more important things to get to with readying things up. So yeah, I took enough of your time. And I believe you should start hurrying back, or else you might end up missing on some much needed sleep. Okay. Well, have a safe trip, and I'll see about having you start sometime next week. Yeah, I'll let you know about the schedule and everything. I'll keep you posted about it. Okay. Yep. You take care and be careful, okay?